So I have to start this video out with a confession. As a mountain bike coach and downhill racer, I've been known to have a bit of a bias towards long travel bikes. In my eyes, the more travel you had, the cooler you were. But that all changed the moment I took my first ride on the Polygon Siskiu D7, a sprightly little downcountry bike with 120 millimeters of travel. I absolutely loved the bike's energetic temperament and how it brought the fun out of even the most mundane trails. And that got me wondering just how many people were out there with that same misconception that I had. So, in this video, I'm going to share the truth about the difference between downcountry and trail bikes so you can choose what's best for you. The two bikes I'll be pitting against for this video are the Polygon Siskiu T6 and the Polygon Siskiu D7, both of which pack tons of value into their low price tag. The main differences between these two bikes are their suspension travel and geometry, but there are some part spec differences as well. The D7 is technically classified as a downcountry bike, which is really a play on words between two different types of mountain bike racing, downhill racing and cross-country racing. Downcountry bikes like the D7 are essentially beefed up XC bikes, designed to add just a bit more comfort and confidence to their swift and agile ride feel. Like I mentioned earlier, the D7 has 120 millimeters of suspension, front and back. This is just enough to absorb rough sections of trail and take the edge off of smaller jumps and drops without compromising weight or pedaling efficiency. Lastly, the frame geometry on a downcountry bike is designed for quick, responsive handling, perfect for navigating steep climbs or picking your way through technical rocks and roots. The T6, on the other hand, is the epitome of a trail bike, with an equal focus on ascending and descending. And the 29-inch version comes with 135 millimeters of travel, where the 27.5-inch models get just a bit more. The added suspension on the T6 increases grip, comfort, and room for error, allowing you to ride away from hairy situations that may have led to a crash on a shorter travel bike. The flip side is that a trail bike like the T6 will usually be a little bit heavier and less efficient while climbing than similarly priced downcountry bikes like the D7. As you'd imagine, the geometry on the T6 is once again designed to split the difference between climbing efficiency and downhill speed, making it perfect for riders who live in areas with steep climbs and steep descents. Both the T6 and the D7 have Shimano Dior drivetrains, but the D7 gets 11 speeds, whereas the T6 comes with 10. The added gear on the D7 gives it an extra edge on the climbs, once again catering to riders who love the burn of carrying speed up the trail. Speaking of climbing, the D7 gets narrower rims and 2.25-inch tires, which not only help reduce weight, but also rolling resistance. The wider rims and knobby 2.6-inch tires on the T6, on the other hand, are the perfect balance between grip and rolling resistance, and strength and weight, once again speaking to the all-around nature of trail bikes. But it's not all differences between these two bikes, and both come with the consistent and powerful Shimano hydraulic disc brakes, ensuring safety and control regardless of the terrain. One of my favorite features that they both share is a dropper seat post. This allows you to change the height of the seat with just the press of a button, ensuring maximal pedaling efficiency on the climbs, but also a low center of gravity on those descents. Now that we've talked about the similarities and differences between these bikes, let's talk about how they actually feel when you're out on the trail, starting with climbing. It should come as no surprise that the D7 is a faster climber, especially on non-technical sections of trail. I was blown away by how effortlessly this bike climbs, both while seated and when out of the saddle. This is based on a combination of many of the things I've already mentioned, most notably the bike's lower weight and fast rolling tires. But the T6 is no slouch either. In fact, it may even outperform the D7 on more technical climbs, where the added suspension helps increase grip and maintain steady power going through the wheels. It is, however, still going to take a bit more effort to get the larger bike to the top of any trail, and I definitely find myself being a bit more winded after climbing my trail bike than I am on the downcountry bike. If you already have a trail bike or are thinking of getting one like the T6, but you want to make those climbs a little less crappy, you can consider switching out the stock tires for something a little bit lighter weight with a less knobby tread pattern. There's a ton of great XC and light trail tires to choose from, but my personal favorites are the Schwalbe Knobby Nicks, which we carry at BikesOnline.com. I think you'll be surprised by how big of a difference that simple change can make. But not everybody's interested in getting the fastest climbing times. So let's move on to descending, and that's where the T6 really comes alive. The bike is a true Goldilocks, with enough suspension and the perfect geometry to inspire speed and confidence, but not so much to make the trail feel dull or boring. Whether you're descending rocky, technical terrain or flowy jump trails, the T6 will make the whole experience feel like a fairy tale. But that doesn't mean that the D7 isn't a blast on those descents either. Its lighter weight makes it easy to bunny hop off small side hits and sprint out of those berms. Where it struggles, however, is with bigger impacts like drops, rock gardens, and large jumps. That's not to say that the bike can't be ridden in this type of terrain, but it definitely takes a more skilled rider to safely pilot it through. If you already have or are considering purchasing a downcountry bike like the D7, I have another top tip for you if you want to excel on those descents. Although it's not quite as cheap or as easy, is replacing the 120mm fork that comes on the D7 with a 130mm fork. This will not only give you more suspension, but it will also slightly alter the bike's geometry to make it noticeably more stable on fast, steep descents. BikesOnline carries Fox, Marzocchi, and DVO suspension, and I'm personally a big fan of the Fox 34 fork. If you're still having trouble deciding which type of bike is best for you and the type of trails that you like to ride, I have a couple quick tips and questions to ask yourself. First, take a look at your local area. What types of bikes are other local riders using? Since you'll likely be riding the same type of terrain, there's a good chance that the bike that works for a majority of them might also work for you. If you're a more experienced rider and already have a good handle on your skill set, then another good question to ask yourself is, do I want a bike that's going to accentuate my skill set and my strengths, or one that improves upon my weaknesses? For example, if you're already a fast climber but maybe struggle keeping up on the way back down, would you rather have a bike that makes you climb even faster and more enjoyably, or one that may hold you back just a bit on the way up but will improve your ability on the descents? Let me know in the comments whether you prefer the speedy responsiveness of a downcountry bike like the D7, or you prefer a well-rounded jack-of-all-trades trail bike like the T6. While you're down there, give a like and subscribe to BikesOnline channel where I'll be hanging out, and after you've done that, grab your bike, whichever one you prefer, get out there and get ripping.